Nothing about this peace conference has gone as planned, but the Ascendant Order might have given us something we didn't have before. A reason for the Alliance leaders to cooperate. Can I ask one more favor of you, dear? Lord Bacaro needs to hear about our victory at All Flags. He can stop mustering a counterforce, at least for now. Thanks to you, Count Demard's plan to decapitate the alliances has failed. The leaders are safe and back to their usual bickering. I suspect Count Demard's defeat cost the Ascendant Order most of their strength. It will take time for them to recover, which gives us a chance to salvage the peace talks. Bring the news to Lord Bacaro. Then meet me back at Mandrake Manor. Lord Bacaro should be at Steadfast Manor. Do hurry before he strikes off with an army of hired knights to join a battle that's already over. Besides, it's not often I get to send someone good news. While the conference site is repaired, I'll secure them in Gonfalon Bay. The captains in Koska can watch over the Royals and Valencia, and we'll have time to send for a new Fighters Guild delegate. I'm surprised this turned out as well as it did. That's a difficult question. I knew we had to try. Actually, I'm a bit embarrassed. Lord Bacaro trusted me to protect the conference, and I let him down. The Ascendant Order was one step ahead of me all along. I've never failed like this before. I didn't notice how powerful the Ascendant Order had become, and I should have sniffed out Count Demard's treachery. The clues were there. Wealth, grievances, arcane skill. Thanks to you, we salvaged the situation. And I can learn from my mistakes. Like Prince Ernskar, I had Captain Suso commandeer a siege engine. That sent a few of their ships to the bottom. Then when the shaking stopped and the storm clouds parted, the remaining vessels fled. After you defeated the Magus, I suppose. No, but I'm not surprised. He and the Steadfast don't have a standing army. I imagine he's still at his manor sending missives across High Isle in an attempt to recruit knights willing to aid us. Go tell him he can stop. The threat is over for now.
Surely we're done now. I could use a drink and a meal.
It must have been tough getting captured by convicts on Aminos.
Good point, Iran. But do remember, he's only a prince.
Raise a hand if you care what the High King thinks.
Thank you, Saji.
Zaji cares. Can we go home now?
Wrong royal, Zaji. We're with the Queen, remember? Now where did we leave that scow we stole?
What? Did no one tie up the ship before we ran into battle?
The Ascendant Magus never stood a chance. People should learn to stop messing with you. Let's go fast.
Lady Arabelle's associate. What news do you bring me? I've been sending messengers throughout the countryside, but so far I've only managed to gather a handful of knights. I was about to send them the order to head out when I saw you approaching. Does this mean you have news from Lady Arabelle? That's excellent news. My congratulations to you and Lady Arabelle. I'll still send the knights, but now their orders will be to shore up the castle's defenses, not rush into a war. But pray tell, where are the delegates now? Of course, All Flags Castle must be half in ruins after what I can only imagine was a fierce and costly battle. I'll get with Lady Arabelle, and we'll thank the delegates for their patience. I do believe another celebration is in order, though. Don't be modest, friend. From what I already know of your exploits, I can only imagine the heroics you demonstrated at All Flags Castle. Inform Lady Arabelle, will gather at Gonfalon Palace to celebrate your courage and the safety of the delegates. How often does someone get to save 3 realms in the same day? Your actions are an inspiration. I wonder, though, did the Ascendant Magus inadvertently help us by attacking the royals? We shall see. Go, tell Arabelle. She'll make the arrangements. Did they now? I can't wait to hear the entire story. I am surprised they didn't make use of the wards protecting Memorial Hall, though. We prepared the site to keep the delegates safe throughout the peace talks. Yes, I saw his power firsthand at Castle Navir. And Valencia explained that he somehow drew power from the volcanic vents that permeate the islands. A reckless use of magic, with little regard for consequences. Where did he learn that, I wonder? Demar de Fort? Astonishing! I was certain the Magus was going to turn out to be one of the Monards. Tell me, what of this mysterious Ascendant Lord you encountered beneath Castle Navir? Did you learn anything about him? Cowards like that let others do the fighting for them. I imagine he's in hiding, fearing exposure and seeking a way to rebuild his forces. I suspect the Lord will remain in the shadows for now. Stay vigilant. Inform me if you learn anything more.
Welcome, my dear. What news do you bring from Steadfast Manor? You have already done so much for the archipelago. I hesitate to ask for more. But while the threat of the Ascendant Lord still looms, Lord Bacaro will be reluctant to move forward with the peace talks. The safety of the leaders is paramount. An excellent idea. Lord Bacaro knows it's vital to bring the delegates back to the table. After recent events, their faith in diplomacy might well be suspect. But a party, that's something they can all agree on. Can I impose on you again, dear? Tell the delegates Lord Bacaro dearly hopes they can attend a gathering at Gonfalon Palace. If anyone hesitates, use your charms to convince them to join us. Meanwhile, I'll throw something together. Meet me at Gonfalon Palace when you're done. You have already done so much for the archipelago. I hesitate to ask for more. But while the threat of the Ascendant Lord still looms, Lord Bacaro will be reluctant to move forward with the peace talks. The safety of the leaders is paramount. Leave that to me, dear. I'll send Jakan to round up our 3 brave captains and put them to work. It'll be all hands on deck, as it were, but I think we can manage. You just make sure the Alliance leaders attend the party. These royals are a stubborn lot, or hadn't you noticed? I can never predict what they will do from one moment to the next. Remind them these peace talks are imperative. If that doesn't work, tell them the other 2 accepted your invitation. Sometimes a few untruths are required to grease the wheels of diplomacy. The royals will see right through the ruse, of course, but they'll play along. All they need is a reason to believe that this isn't a waste of their time.
Magus Slayer! To what do I owe this pleasure? Have I thanked you yet for all you've done? Not just for the alliances and Lady Arabelle, but for me personally. No? Well, thank you, my friend. I don't know many people who could have beaten the Ascendant Magus. But what brings you to the temple? Another royal function. I'm getting tired of those ghastly affairs in most cases. I was just considering heading home. Queen Maria must be missing me terribly. Unless... is the celebration in my honor? It's bad form to refuse such parties. Irene and Ernskar? Well, I can't allow them to attend and not show up myself. And I guess I do owe them something of a debt, too. They did help us on Amanos and at All Flags Castle. All right, I'll attend Lord Bacaro's celebration. It seems I'll need to pay more attention to the Sisters Archipelago in the future. My negligence allowed treason to fester and bloom unchecked. That changes now. But enough grim talk. We must celebrate. I will see you at Lord Bacaro's gathering. I will need to treat that situation delicately. Until I can prove one way or another that Duchess Elea was truly ignorant of her brother's plot, I can't in good conscience reprimand the entire house. Still, I don't take treason lightly. No, but we didn't exterminate all of those Order bastards, and their so-called Ascendant Lord is still loose. I have no doubt his rogue knights will rise against us again. I'll withhold judgment on the Duforts until my daggers investigate, though.
Are we going to race?
Hello, friend. Looking for me? I've always loved the sea. Comes from growing up on Somerset, I suppose. But what can I do for you, my friend? Don't tell me there are more rogue knights threatening High Isle. A party? Just another excuse to get me and Emmerich in the same room? Oh, very well. If we could face unprecedented danger together, we can probably survive sharing a few drinks and some food. And where will this gala event be held? That's probably for the best. It's close by. And All Flags Castle was quite a mess after the battle with the Ascendant Magus. It will take Lord Bacaro considerable effort if he plans to make it ready for the conference again. Most of the belongings I brought along were lost when the Perfect Pounce sank into the sea. I wonder if I can find any suitable attire on this island. Breton tastes leave something to be desired. What am I thinking? This outfit is perfectly fine. We did not discuss peace, if that's what you're asking. We disagree on important issues, which is why diplomacy usually begins with social occasions. Banquets, balls, hunts, and the like. Rarely do they involve fighting for your life, though. We regaled each other with tales of how we survived the shipwrecks and our adventures on Amanos. I believed Emmerich was past his prime, no longer the great hero. And Ernskar struck me as young and brash. I now have a different perspective.
Well met, friend. Come have a drink with me. After the battles we endured, I was hoping to find a celebration. Unfortunately, this inn is as dead as the elk served at the Skull King's table. Have you come to drink with me, perhaps, my friend? Well, that's a welcome bit of news. Even a party full of royals and nobles has got to be better than this place. Wait, will Emmerich and Iron be in attendance? If they decline the invitation, I probably should as well. And it seems I have no other choice. I will attend Lord Bacaro's celebration, and if the festivities evolve into more serious conversations, perhaps I will even listen. I'll see you there, my friend. Wait until the Skull King hears what he missed. Raging storms, a deadly jungle, a battle against near-hopeless odds at an ancient castle. My father is going to kick himself. Well, maybe not about the storms. He gets sick at sea. Absolutely. He was an adventuring bard before he took the throne of Eastern Skyrim. He's not as ancient as Emmerich, and that old lion enjoyed himself. When we weren't almost dying, at least. I'll send a report to my father. Tell him all about it. As long as nothing else out of the ordinary happens, I'll stay. At least for a while. The weather here on High Isle is so much nicer than what we have in Windhelm. I can do without the cold and the snow for a little longer.
I have a lot of studying to finish. I suppose of all the places in Tamriel, this isn't a bad place to do it. It could almost be a vacation.
The Mages Guild has finally granted my request to study druidic magic, but some of the druids are being quite problematic. Those of the Stonewall Circle are friendly enough, but they reveal precious little, and the Eldertide are downright hostile.
Yeah.
Hey, good looking. Got a moment? Lord Bacaro may have proclaimed that this was a celebration for the Alliance leaders, but everyone came out to see the hero who saved All Flags Castle. I'm impressed how fast the word got around, even if I may have had something to do with that. Just wanted you to know, I worked it out with Lady Arabelle. She considers my debt to her paid in full. I think she may have confused me with you, but I'll take it any way I can get it. So go in and enjoy the party. I'm sure I'll see you around. I put on a few disguises, sure, and I'm glad everyone's safe, but all this hero stuff gives me a rash. I'm not supposed to attract so much attention. Anyway, Lady Arabelle wants a word with you before she starts the main event. She's waiting inside.
Not my finest work, but I think this venue will do.
Excellent! I see all three of our royal guests are in attendance, and Lady Arabelle has worked her usual magic to create a suitable setting for the occasion. That woman's competence is positively uncanny.
You have already done so much for the archipelago. I hesitate to ask for more, but while the threat of the Ascendant Lord still looms, Lord Bacaro will be reluctant to move forward with the peace talks. The safety of the leaders is paramount. Excellent, dear. You saved Emmerich and the others from the Ascendant Order and ended the threat of the Magus. Plus, you salvaged the talks and restored the hope for peace. Take this. This is your day as much as anyone's. I have to address the crowd. We aren't done with this business quite yet, my dear. You have already done so much for the archipelago. I hesitate to ask for more, but while the threat of the Ascendant Lord still looms, Lord Bacaro will be reluctant to move forward with the peace talks. The safety of the leaders is paramount. The archipelago is too large for me to investigate by myself. We have to drive the Ascendant Lord out of hiding and put an end to him and his Ascendant Order. Since you know the movers and shakers on Galen, I'd like to send you there in my stead. Possibly, but more to the point, I want you to warn Count Stefan and secure the aid of House Mornard. Sail to Versteer and meet with the Count. Let him know what transpired here, and get him to agree to aid us when the Order appears again. While you head to Galen to secure Count Stefan's cooperation, I'll work with Lord Bacaro to get the peace talks underway, and I'll continue to watch for signs of the Ascendant Lord. By the time you return, perhaps I'll have uncovered something. By utilizing my network of informants, of course. You aren't the only horse in my stable, dear. I have handmaidens, shopkeepers, dock workers, and beggars throughout the island serving as my eyes and ears. It costs a bit, but saves me time and effort. My notes. I make a record of all my cases. A habit I acquired working as a dagger for High King Emmerich. He was insistent on receiving complete reports. Between you and me, dear, some of my adventures would make excellent novels. Oh, those silly things? Let's just say the author is a very dear friend of mine. I know her as well as I know myself, and I will admit to sharing a tale or two with her over the years. But enough of that. You have a count to go talk to.
We have taken the first step on a long journey. Still, no one ever reaches their destination without taking that step. I owe you a debt, friend. Because of you, there's still a chance for peace. I promise to take full advantage of this opportunity. That depends on how fast I can get workers out to rebuild All Flags Castle and restore Memorial Hall. And I need to send word to the Mages Guild. Valencia alone can't replace the wards. There's also a new Fighters Guild delegate to consider. I'm certainly going to try. We've all accomplished too much to let the talks just fade away like a mist in the morning sun. You showed them they can work together. We can build upon that, provided I can get them to stay until we're ready to begin.
I don't want to help people just to make them grateful to me, but if these are the sort of parties adventurers get to attend, I definitely won't complain. Where better to find a ship than in Gonfalon Bay? I'll get passage on one of them. Until then, I'm helping people. Yes! I started by singing rats off a galley. It's a small start, but now folks are coming to me with their problems. I'm making a name for myself. It may not be much yet, but I crafted it myself. And it's my name, not my father's. Me? I'm going to enjoy myself. Maybe try some new foods. It's nice being at a party and not having to worry about being called on to perform. After that, I'm going to battle monsters, solve real problems, like you.
I've been told that my brother met his end at your hands during his reckless attack on All Flags Castle. If only I had seen through his scheme sooner, perhaps he might have been saved. But I suspect he gave you no choice. That was so his way. When my brother fixed his mind on a goal, he did not allow anything or anyone to get in his way. We were never close, but our relationship only worsened after I accepted our father's title. And now he's left our house on the brink of ruin. The High King says he does not hold me responsible for Demard's misdeeds, but the ships that attacked All Flags Castle were built into fort yards, and many of our knights fought under ascended helms. Our honor is irreparably stained.
When Kamal's Bane foundered on the rocks of Aminos Passage, I could not imagine this hour would come. Yet now, the hardest work of all begins. Well, after the hard work of restoring All Flags Castle is finished, then the hardest work begins. Sadly, no. She will never sail again. But several Ascendant Order vessels were abandoned after the fight at All Flags Islet. Since the Order wrecked my ship, I hope to claim one of theirs for compensation. I recrew and refit here in Gonfalon Bay. I do not know how long Prince Ernskar plans to stay, but it would be my honor to return him safely home when the time comes. Until then, I promised Lady Arabelle I would help protect all the delegates.
Well, that was quite something to see. I envy your life of adventure and daring do, my friend. Sometimes I imagine striking out with nothing but a sword and a good pair of boots. But what would become of Lady Laurent? She'd be lost without me. What? Well, yes, everyone does. She's a fine and noble woman. Quite personable. When she isn't calling for tea or ordering me to do some fool thing or other. But I do not appreciate what you are implying, my friend. After the... You saw? Well, nothing happened. Not really. Nothing I want to discuss, anyway. Lady Laurent wasn't herself. She was still caught up on the stifled emotions of a sea captain who had been alone for... Oh, must we talk about this? Nothing too exciting. I have lists to make, crates to pack, and Lady Laurent's collection of combs, brushes, and reach fetishes won't sort themselves. I'm sure we'll see you again. Milady appreciates your help, even if she doesn't say so.
As much as I enjoy a party, I still have work to do back on All Flags. And poor Stibbins isn't a spring rooster. All this excitement does terrible things to his already fragile constitution. If we disappear, do give our regards to Lady Arabelle. Oh, if you don't mind, I'd rather not recall that dreadful experience. You have no idea what it's like to have a foul-mouthed, libidinous sea captain inside your head. Although, I must say the feelings he left me with were rather enticing. I still have a few last things to take care of on All Flags Islet before the peace talks can proceed. After that, who can say? I go where I'm needed, and Stibbins follows faithfully in my wake. Someone must carry my personals, after all. Oh, that goes without saying. I am Tamriel's most celebrated treasure hunter and author, after all. I may stick around for the peace talks. Or I heard about some strange happenings in the Telvanni Peninsula. Or Hammerfell. I haven't been there in ages.
I can't say I terribly enjoy parties. Too many opportunities for decisions one might regret later. But I suppose if anything is worth celebrating, it is your actions here on High Isle. Exceedingly well. With the trials out of the way, the jousting and revelry has been some of the best we've ever seen. I rarely get a chance to enjoy much of it, but Aurelia has encouraged me to live a little. I do, but it warms my heart to know she's getting a chance to see the world as your companion. I've known her for almost her whole life, you know. The smile she wore the day she won the tourney was a rare treat.
I'm going to stick right here by the Knight Commander. At least if I stand here and keep my mouth shut, I can't embarrass myself any further. What? No. Nope. I'm good here. I tried to introduce myself to High King Emmerich when the commander spoke to him, and I kind of forgot my own name. So, if I try that again, I think I'll die of shame. Other than putting my boot squarely in my mouth, you mean? Yes, I'm having a lovely time. Have you had any of those little finger sandwiches? And Jakarn has tried to hit on me no less than 3 times. I don't have the heart to tell him.
You made sure there's at least a chance for peace and saved the Alliance leaders. You should be proud of that.
So, when not busy fighting pirates, I guess you're off saving royalty. Perhaps you just travel where the winds blow. Everyone here owes you a great debt, especially myself. The Prowler remains safe and ready to serve the Dominion. Wherever I please. That's the joy of the sailing life. We have a few jobs lined up. Sailors must eat after all. But I think we can afford some shore leave. And Queen Irene asked to talk later. I sense more dangerous cargo in the near future. Ugh, I asked that sour cat to come and thank you. But he turned me down. Something about needing to count the crates another time. He never stops working, that one. But I know for a certainty that he's grateful for everything you've done. Wherever I please.
Well done, my friend. What you accomplished here, what you prevented. We all owe you so much more than our thanks and well wishes. If there's anything you ever need from the Stone Lore Circle, you only need to ask. More or less. Nature has a way of doing the unexpected, but that's part of its grandeur. The spirit of the Grove has become more of a partner than a tool, and I am glad of that. You helped make that possible. The Circle will never forget that. No, not yet. It's like the very rock refuses to talk to us, and we're the Stone Lore Druids. I've been busy getting the Grove settled, but I think I'll offer to help with the investigation into the lava vents and the volcano. It's the least I can do.
Nothing can replace the spearhead or the crewmates I lost when she went down. But seeing the High King and all these other people alive and well goes a long way toward making things right. Well, that and Nereiid's song, I suppose. I'm not going anywhere until High King Emmerich finishes up what he came here to do. That's fine with me, though. It'll give me time to sign on a crew and put Nereiid's song in proper shape. Lady Arabelle insisted, and the Duchess doesn't seem opposed. Still haven't decided whether to rename her. There's a lot of luck tied up in a ship's name. Oh, and while I'm here, I agreed to protect the delegates. I could use the extra gold.
Good thing I didn't eat you on that Amanos beach, Walker. This all would have been a lot harder without you. And no, I don't really eat people. That's just Senshrat humor. As far as you know. That depends on Queen Irene. We're staying in Gonfalon Bay as long as she is, but that suits me fine. We've got a new ship and a new crew to break in, and I'll be keeping an eye on Zaji, as always.
After a shipwreck, imprisonment, and dangerous battles, Zaji has earned a little time to relax. And perhaps some recognition for his bravery and skill, yes? Zaji is the hero of the day. After you, of course. A drink in your honor! Long sunny days and tender nights, filled with song, drink, and love. Or so Zachi hopes. Since Queen Irene has no one else to look after her in these islands, Zachi hereby appoints himself the task of catering to her every need. That is a task better left in Cascar's claws. Who will look after Queen Irene if not Zachi? And Lady Arabelle insisted we help guard the delegate anyway, so what does this want to do? Zachi can only hope his devotion is rewarded.
I think I can bear this Breton paradise a little longer. Consider it my way of acknowledging everything you did for us. For me. If you could go out of your way to save 3 foolish royals, then I can try to find common ground with my enemies. There's always a chance. As long as Lord Bacaro can finalize the necessary arrangements, we have an opportunity to put an end to terrible suffering. What sort of queen would I be if I did not do everything in my power to see this through? I must assume so. Why else would they be here? They are honorable leaders despite our differences and the terrible war we're engaged in. I believe they want what is best for their realms as well as mine. Beyond that, we shall have to wait and see.
We won the day, my friend, and I learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or at least a helpful acquaintance. And if the peace talks do go on, I will do my best to negotiate in good faith. Who knows? Will ice melt in the cookpot? That's a certainty. But the thoughts that run through the minds of the rulers of Tamriel, those cannot be fathomed by even the most brilliant sage. But I will send word to my father, ask for his advice. Mostly. But he wasn't with us on Amanos or at All Flags Castle. He didn't fight side by side with the lion and the eagle. My father doesn't expect much from these talks. I'm not so sure. If the talks do take place, I'd love to surprise him.
Fighting alongside each other? All well and good. Attending a party together? Sure, with civilized people. But these peace talks? If Lord Bacaro is committed to continuing down this path, I'll follow. I don't hold out much hope, though. What do I look like, a soothsayer? All I know is that peace has powerful enemies. Every day, people tell me that if we press harder, we can make good on the blood and treasure we've spent. Dictate terms from a position of strength. It distresses me. I'm afraid I do. If I decide to ignore them and hold my ground, there's no promise Irene and Yoren can do the same. Peace is only possible when everyone sees there's no more to be gained from war. Still, if others are willing to try, so am I.
Quite an honor you've received from these esteemed figures. I feel confident they only know a small portion of your heroics. If these discussions succeed, we could soon see this war end. No more lives thrown away in the pursuit of power. Returning to normal thanks to you. The symptoms of Viralane's experiments have faded from our patients. Now they can focus on the conditions that originally brought them to me. That will be its own struggle, but one we're trained for. Oh, of course. As long as this horrible war rages, I will help heal the injured. And I believe in Lord Bacaro's dream. Learning about the lives of our enemies offers the best path to peace.
You made quite an impression, my friend. Too bad for you. Now all the important people know who to call when they need something done. You'll never have a moment's rest, you poor bastard. I really am. But you know me. I lay low and some sort of trouble still finds me. I'm like one of those lodestones, I guess. Don't get me wrong, Lady A is great, and she pays well. But I need to draw the line at acting respectable, of being all heroic. I'm a thief. I've got an image to think of. But I'll never say never. Do that, and fate intervenes.